Welcome to our channel, my friends. It's very nice to have you. In this video, I want to show you how can you create a DAX calculation in Power BI so you can create you can calculate the year-over-year growth if you don't have necessarily a date column. If the dates you have, they come in the form of a string or as a text, and you still want to calculate the year-over-year growth. So I'll show you how to do that. But before I do that, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Give the thumbs up and leave your comments below so we can always continue to bring quality content for you. Let's go. All right. So I have a very simple table here. As you can see, only two columns. I have the quarters and the total sales. Okay. The problem is the quarter as it's formatted, it's not a date format. Okay. It's a string. It's a text. Power BI doesn't really know how to work with this as a date, right? But you still know that that represents the aggregation of the total sales for 3 months of the year for a full quarter, okay? There are a few ways that you can work around this. Maybe you can do some cast using SQL in your database. Maybe you can do some work in Power Query, create a custom column to work around this and maybe cast that as the first day of that quarter. But there's a simple way that I want to show you that you can do that directly in Power BI using a DAX calculation and basically using string concatenation, right? So you can, just like in Excel, we have the concat function, right? You have the concat so you can break a string apart and put them together the way you want. So that's basically what I'll be using to create that calculation in Power BI. Okay, so let's jump into it. Here in Power BI, I have only that one table. You can see I have quarter, total sales. Let me enlarge this so it'll be easier for you to see. I'll go here to the format, values. Let's make this larger, maybe an 18. That works. That's perfect. Okay. Let me scroll that up. Okay. So see that, let's focus on these quarter columns, right? Let's take these 2014 Q1 as an example. Okay, that's a string. That's a series of characters, and Power BI understand that that's a string. Okay, so what we want to do is compare this $975,000 in sales to what? To 2013 Q1, to the 768,000. So basically, what I want my DAX calculation to return is that growth. But first, I want to know how to come from 2014 Q1 to 2013 Q1. Okay, that's where the concatenation will come into place. I'll do this calculation step by step. At the end, it will be a big calculation, but I'll do it step by step so it's very easy for you to understand. First thing I'll do, I'll go to my Home tab, New Measure, and then let's start with our calculation. I'm calling this year over year. Okay, I'll start by just pulling the year apart, right? From the 2014 Q1, I just want the year portion, the first 4 characters of that string. So in order to do that, let's use a left function I need to use an internal function here called SELECTEDVALUE in order for this to work. And then we'll select the quarter column, okay? So we selected that string, the 2014 Q1. So the left function, the second argument is the number of characters. In this case, it's a year, so it will always be 4 characters. I'll close the parentheses, I'll hit enter, and let's add that to our table so we can see the results real time. Okay, so you see for that row, 2014 Q1, right now my calculation is returning 2014. But what do I want in that case? I want to return the year before 2013. So it's very simple. I just go here to the calculation and -1. Okay, doing this step by step. Okay, there you go, -1. So it kind of reformatted to a number, but don't worry about it. It will still work when we add next steps and the extra steps to our calculation. But right now it's working. So for the 2014 row, it's returning 2013, so the year before. That's perfect. Now I want to add to that 2013 the second portion of the string, which is the quarter, right? So the -Q1. And now we're going to concatenate that by using the AND signal, okay? You can use a concat function, but I just think it's easier to use that AND character. And now we're going to use the right function. Again, SELECTEDVALUE for the quarter I'll close parentheses. Now, how many characters? We want the dash, the Q, and the 1. So keep in mind that in this case, the number of characters in that column will always be the same, assuming that the data has good quality, right? That nobody messes up. But we won't have like a Q10, for example, that would add more characters. No, we'll always have the same number of characters. So right now we're looking at dash Q1. So the last 3 characters in that string. So I'm going to close that, add the number 3, close that parenthesis, and hit enter. And we'll see what happens. So it's nice to test it out and see the results real time so you know you're getting where you want to go. So for the 2014 Q1, right now we have 2013 Q1. That's perfect. That will be the filter for my calculate function. Now what I need to do is just add the calculation function and add this whole thing we created as a filter. Okay, so let me show you. I'll add calculate function. As we know, we want to sum the total sales. Okay, and now the second portion of calculate is the filter argument. So we want the quarter, the quarter to be equals to the whole thing we just calculated below, right? And then I'll add another parenthesis to close the calculate function and hit enter. And now we have some numbers to check it out. So for 2014 Q1, it's returning 768,000. So where's that number coming from? Let's go back to 2013 Q1. There we go, 768,000. Okay, so the calculation seems to be working fine. We can check out more rows, but by looking at it, we can see that it's working. It's returning the same number, the same amount of sales, but for the year before. Same quarter, but for the year before. Okay, now all we want to do is calculate the growth rate, right? So divide the difference by the original number. So there are a bunch of ways you can do this. I preferably wanted to use this one. That's basically the sum of sales for that one row divided by previous period total sales. That's the whole portion below, and add the -1 at the end, right? You can also do a calculation like this period minus last period. That's the difference. Divide that by previous period. You'll come up with the exact same number, and you'll see. Okay, so sales for this period, I divided by the last period, and then -1 after that division. I'll hit enter. Now we have different numbers, zeros and ones. What's going on? It's because of the number format. So I'll select the year-over-year calculation here on the right, and I'll change the number format to percentage here on the menu up top. And you'll see that now we have a bunch of different percentages here, and we can check these out as well. So let's open the calculator, and let's just double check to make sure we're getting the right numbers. For 2014 Q1, we had 975,810 minus 2013 Q1, 768,154. That's the difference from one year to another. And let's divide that by the previous period, which is 2013 Q1, 768,154. And we have a growth rate of 27% year over year. That's exactly what my calculation is returning. Okay, so you see that at the end, that your DAX calculation, it might be a little big, but if we break that down step by step, we see that's pretty easy to understand the logic behind it. It's just a matter of you understanding what's the string format you have in that one column, and see if the number of characters are the same across the board, right? And if you have that one format, the data is consistent, then you can come up with these calculations using these concatenate functions, the calculate, and use the filter to come up with a year over year. And if you want to calculate the quarter over quarter, it's the exact same logic, right? So I'll leave it up to you as a homework if you want to try it out. How do you calculate the quarter over quarter using the same logic I showed you? Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up, leave your comments below so we can continue to always bring quality content for you. Thank you very much.